find that position
And
of
allow your
comfort,
body to find a comfortable
you might
position.
begin to notice the
where you
points
can
where your
fully
body makes
relax.
contact with the surface beneath you. Perhaps becoming aware of the texture of the bedding or the gentle support it provides.
Take a deep breath in through your
There's
nose
something quite remarkable
and
about
release it
breathing.
slowly through your mouth.
How it continues all on its own whether we're awake or asleep, and how simply bringing our attention to it can sometimes shift its pattern in ways that invite deeper relaxation.
Feel your body beginning to unwind.
Like slowly
settle into the surface
unwinding
beneath
a tightly coiled spring, allowing everything to gradually release and return to its natural state. No effort required, just permitting your body to find its own way back to comfort.
you. Your only job right
And
now
it's
is to
interesting how
listen
sleep itself
and allow
cannot be
suggestions
directly
to help
controlled
release
or
the patterns
commanded.
that have been
It
preventing
can only
natural
be
sleep.
invited, welcomed, allowed to arrive in its own time. Like a shy animal that only approaches when we create the conditions and then patiently wait.
Allow your body to
And
relax
some
completely.
people notice that relaxation begins with a
Start
certain
with your
quality
forehead.
of sensation.
Releasing any
Perhaps
tension
a
there.
softening or a heaviness, or maybe even a pleasant warmth. And I wonder which you might experience first as this comfort continues to develop.
Let that relaxation flow down
It's rather like watching honey dripping slowly from a spoon,
through your face,
like gradual
your jaw,
flowing,
your neck, and into your
following
shoulders.
the natural path of least resistance, finding its way with such perfect ease.
Now down through your arms,
And perhaps you might notice a pleasant
your
warmth
fingertips.
developing in your fingertips,
feeling heavy and
or
comfortable.
maybe a slight tingling. Or perhaps they begin to feel somewhat distant. Any of these sensations simply signs that relaxation is deepening.
Allow this wave of relaxation
A
to
gentle
continue
tide washing
through
over
your torso,
you,
your back,
advancing a little
into your
further
hips.
with each wave, gradually covering more and more of the shore. Such a natural and effortless process,
finally. Feel it
until
move
that
through your
comfortable
legs
feeling has traveled
all the
throughout
way
your
to your feet.
entire body,
until your entire
creating
body
a complete
is
circuit
completely
of relaxation.
relaxed.
Preparing for what might naturally follow as your body remembers how to surrender and rest.
On the count of
And
3,
sometimes the mind and body
Double
can make
this relaxation.
surprisingly rapid shifts,
1,
releasing into even deeper states of comfort, as though discovering a new level of relaxation
Relax
previously
deeper
unexplored.
I want you to imagine now that you're standing at the edge of a tranquil blue pool of water.
And as this image begins to
Representing
form
perfect
in your mind,
natural
you
sleep.
might notice certain details appearing, perhaps the color of the water, or the way the light plays across its surface, the sense of tranquility it evokes even before you've entered it.
As you gaze into this pool,
There's something
you
so
can see its
inviting
calming
about
waters
water, isn't
inviting
there?
you to enter.
The way it
immerse
seems
yourself
to call to
completely.
us on a hot day, promising relief and refreshment, creating that sense of anticipation of the comfort to come.
Step into the pool now and
And that
Feel
first
water at your
contact with
ankles.
water can be so telling. That initial sensation as your skin meets the
begins to
cool
wash away
surface.
the tensions and
Perhaps sending a
sleeplessness.
slight shiver of pleasure up your legs. The beginning of something wonderful.
Move deeper now.
Like gradually
The
being
water reaching your
liberated
knees.
from the effects of gravity.
Feel how the water
Each
supports
step
you,
creating more
making your legs feel
buoyancy,
lighter,
more freedom
more buoyant.
from weight and pressure, moving towards that delightful state of effortlessness.
continuing forward. The water now reaches
And you
your
might
waist.
notice how your breathing naturally
Notice
begins to
how your
synchronize
breathing
with this
naturally
experience,
slows and deepens
perhaps becoming
as you become
slower,
accustomed to this peaceful environment.
finding a natural rhythm that harmonizes with the gentle movement of the water around you.
Moving deeper still,
That sensation of
now
water
reaches your
rising
chest.
up your torso,
Feel the
perhaps
wave of
creating a
tranquility
gentle pressure that
washing
feels
over
somehow
your heart and
reassuring.
lungs, creating
Like a
perfect
light
calm
embrace
within.
that holds you with just the right amount of contact.
Now, the water gently touches your
And there's
shoulders.
something quite profound about
Feel
that
how it carries your
moment when
weight,
we surrender our weight to
relieving any
water,
remaining tension.
when we
in your
trust
lower
it
body.
to hold us, allowing ourselves to be supported completely, releasing the constant effort of holding ourselves up,
You're now immersed up to your neck.
like being
In these
held in
peaceful
perfect
waters.
suspension,
Your body
neither
feels weightless,
sinking nor floating,
perfectly supported.
just being in the
Completely
moment
at
of
ease.
perfect balance. Perhaps feeling a sense of boundary dissolving between yourself and the comforting water.
As you take one final step forward, you allow the calming waters, like a blanket, to cover you completely, creating a perfect environment for profound relaxation and natural sleep. Now I want you to acknowledge
And it's quite
any
natural
thoughts
to
or
have these
concerns
thoughts,
about sleep
these
that
concerns
may have
about
been keeping
sleep.
you awake.
They're such a common part of the experience of insomnia. And there can be something quite freeing in simply acknowledging their presence without judgment.
See these thoughts as leaves floating
Watching
on
as
the
they
surface of
move
the
with the
water.
current. No need to chase after them.
Watch as
No
they
need
drift
to
further
engage with them.
and further.
Just observing
away
their
from you.
natural departure. Creating space for something new.
You now release any pressure to
And
fall
isn't it
asleep.
interesting how the things we try our
Sleep
hardest
is
to
a natural
control
process that
are
cannot
often the
be
very
forced.
things that elude us?
It can only
Sleep
be allowed.
being perhaps the perfect example. Something that comes most easily when we stop trying to make it happen.
The mere act of trying to sleep
Rather like
often
trying to
creates
force a
tension
flower
that
to
prevents it.
bloom. Our very effort creating a tension that
Instead,
prevents the natural
You now
unfolding.
focus simply on rest and
Whereas
relaxation.
creating the right conditions and then allowing the process to occur in its own time brings the desired result effortlessly.
You give yourself complete permission
And
to
there's
rest,
something quite
comfortably,
liberating about this permission,
knowing that this alone is
this
beneficial
release from the
for your
demand to
body
sleep,
and mind.
recognizing that rest itself has tremendous value, that your body receives significant benefits simply from lying comfortably with a quiet mind.
Your mind now separates the process of
And
relaxation
this separation
from
can
the
be
outcome
so
of sleep.
powerful. Recognizing that relaxation is something you can choose and create. Something within your control. While sleep itself is a natural process that occurs when the conditions are right, like the difference between preparing fertile soil and the actual germination of a seed. It's rather like creating the perfect environment for a shy wild animal to appear.
The perfect conditions
You can prepare the
natural
setting,
sleep to occur.
create safety and comfort, and then release the expectation, the demand, allowing nature to take its course in its own perfect timing.
Any
And there can be
concern
something quite enjoyable
sleeping
about this state of
is
deep
now
rest.
replaced by a focus
A space where the
on the
body
pleasant
receives
sensations
many of the
of
benefits
deep
of
rest.
sleep, even while consciousness remains. A kind of twilight state with its own unique qualities.
You now experience a profound sense of peace about sleep.
Like finding a quiet harbor after struggling against the strong currents. Finally allowing yourself to simply be. To rest in this moment exactly as it is, without needing it to be different, without needing sleep to come immediately, just accepting this present experience of comfort and stillness.
Become aware now of any remaining tension in your body.
And this tension can sometimes hide in places we don't immediately notice. Perhaps in the small muscles around the eyes, or the jaw, or even in the hands or feet. And bringing gentle awareness to these areas often allows them to naturally soften and release.
Your muscles can now release completely.
I remember watching ice melting in the
Physical
spring
conditions
sun,
necessary.
how it transforms from something solid and rigid into flowing water. That same kind of transformation happening within your body now, as tension dissolves into comfort.
Feel a pleasant heaviness flowing through your entire body.
Like being wrapped in a perfectly weighted
Anchoring
blanket,
you deeply in
providing
relaxation.
just the right amount of pressure, creating that sense of security that allows the nervous system to fully surrender into rest.
Your limbs feel warm and heavy,
As though they're becoming
comfortably
somehow
sinking into the surface
denser,
beneath you.
more substantial. Perhaps even feeling as if they're sinking slightly into the surface beneath them. A pleasant sensation of being grounded and supported.
Your body is now perfectly aligned.
Every
and at
vertebra
ease,
finding
free
its
from
natural
any
position.
physical impediments to sleep.
Every joint resting at its perfect angle. Everything aligned in a way that allows energy to flow freely. Creating that ideal condition where the body can truly rest.
Your mind now becomes progressively quieter.
And as your mind
Thoughts
begins to
slowly
quiet,
become
you might
less
notice
demanding
how thoughts begin
your
to
attention.
lose their sharp edges, becoming softer, more diffuse, like watching watercolors blend together on damp paper.
Any racing thoughts or mental activity begins to slow down.
Like a merry-go-round that gradually
Like a wave
slows,
gradually coming to
the
rest.
music becoming fainter, the spinning less dizzying, until eventually it comes to a gentle stop, allowing you to step into stillness and quiet.
Your brain transitions easily from
Each
its
of these
alert beta
states
state
having its
to
own
a calm
special
alpha
quality,
state,
its own
preparing
texture.
for natural
The
sleep
active beta
cycles.
state gradually yielding to the gentle wash of alpha waves, creating that comfortable twilight state where sleep can gently approach.
The endless circle of
like a
thoughts
chain that's been
breaks
looped
open,
on itself,
creating
suddenly having a
space
link open,
and silence.
allowing the
in your
thoughts
mental
to
landscape.
disperse rather than continuing to circle, creating space and possibility where there was only repetition before.
Your mind knows exactly how to maintain this quiet state.
This natural wisdom of the mind, knowing precisely how to guide you towards sleep, requiring nothing from you but your willingness to allow the process, to surrender to the natural progression from wakefulness to sleep.
Your natural sleep-wake cycle is now
Like a
resetting
timepiece
itself
that's gradually been
healthy,
running off
consistent
schedule,
pattern.
being gently reset, returning to its natural rhythm, rediscovering the pattern it was always designed to follow.
Your body is relearning the
This
art of
knowledge
falling
has
asleep
always
easily
been there,
and
like a
naturally
well-worn path that's become
at the
overgrown
appropriate
from
time.
disuse, now being rediscovered, becoming more visible and accessible with each passing night.
The hormone melatonin now releases
That
at the
natural
optimal
signal
time,
to the body that it's
signaling
time
your
to
body
transition
that
towards
it's
sleep.
time for sleep.
Like a messenger delivering an important invitation, creating that perfect internal environment where sleep can unfold naturally.
While you sleep deeply and restfully,
Your mind maintaining
always
that remarkable
awaken
capacity to distinguish
and be fully
between
alert
ordinary
when
sounds
there
and
is a
truly
general
important
emergency
signals.
requiring your attention.
A natural wisdom that functions even during sleep. Like a watchful guardian that knows when to allow deep rest and when to bring you to alertness.
Your internal clock synchronizes
Like an
with
instrument
natural
being brought
day
back
and
into
night
tune,
cycles,
finding that perfect
creating
resonance
predictable
with the
periods
natural
of
world,
sleepiness,
aligning with the
and
ancient
wakefulness.
rhythms of daylight and darkness that have guided sleep for millennia.
Each night, this healthy pattern
Building
strengthens,
momentum with each
making natural
experience,
sleep
each
increasingly
successful night
automatic.
creating a stronger
and
foundation for the next. Like a path becoming more established with each journey along it. More natural, more inevitable.
If you ever wake up during the night,
These
now
3 breaths
automatically
serving as a kind
take
of
3
reset
deep
button.
breaths
A way of
and feel
interrupting any
yourself
potential
sinking
cycle of
deeper
concern.
and
Immediately returning you to the
into
state
comfort.
of physical comfort and mental quiet.
Your mind immediately recognizes that this
Rather
is
like
still sleep
briefly
time
stirring during a train
and
journey,
easily returns to a sleep state.
momentarily aware that you're traveling, but easily lulled back to sleep by the rhythm of the wheels, knowing there's still plenty of journey ahead before you need to arrive.
Any brief wakings become shorter
Like
and less
ripples
frequent,
on water that becomes smaller and
eventually
smaller,
disappearing completely.
gradually diminishing until the surface is once again perfectly still. Each disturbance having less impact than the one before.
You maintain a state of deep relaxation,
Remaining
even
in that
during brief
twilight
periods of
state,
wakefulness,
never fully
making
emerging
return to
into
sleep
complete
seamless
wakefulness.
and easy.
Maintaining that perfect balance where you can easily slip back into sleep without effort or concern.
The transition back to sleep
Like a
becomes
well-rehearsed
effortless
dance
and
step
automatic,
that your body now performs with
requiring
perfect
no
grace.
conscious intervention.
No longer requiring continuous direction or attention. Happening as naturally as breathing or the beating of your heart.
Your sleeping environment now becomes a sanctuary for rest,
Like a special space that exists
triggering
outside of ordinary
relaxation
time,
responses.
with its own particular atmosphere, its own rules, relaxation and sleep are the natural and inevitable state.
As soon as you enter your bed,
Like crossing
your body
a threshold
recognizes the
into
signal
a
of
different
sleep
state of being.
and begins to prepare
Your body
accordingly.
immediately recognizing the signals, beginning its preparation for sleep. Like a well-trained response that happens without conscious direction.
Your bedroom becomes associated
Creating that perfect
with
container for sleep.
and relaxation,
A space dedicated to
free
rest
from
and
wakeful
renewal.
activities or
Free
worries.
from stimulation and concerns of waking life. A true sanctuary for the sleeping mind and body.
Any external sounds or disturbances
Perhaps
simply
even being
fade into the
incorporated into your sleep experience.
never interrupting your rest.
Becoming part of a dream. Or simply remaining at the very edges of awareness. Never significant enough to interrupt the important process of rest and renewal.
Your bed becomes a trigger.
Like a
for
familiar
sleep
doorway
response,
that leads to the same destination
automatically
each time you
initiating a
pass through it.
transition to
Your
restful
body and
slumber.
mind recognizing it immediately. Automatically beginning the transition towards sleep as soon as you lie down.
You now develop a consistent routine
Like a
for
series
bed
of signposts guiding you
that
towards
signals your
sleep.
body and mind to prepare for sleep.
Each activity a step along the path, creating a smooth and natural transition from the waking world to the sleeping one.
This routine might include gentle stretching
Each activity specifically
calming
chosen to
activities
distance you from the day's
that
concerns
create
and
distance
stimulation.
from the day's
To create
stimulation.
a kind of buffer zone between active engagement and rest. Allowing your system to gradually downshift towards sleep.
Each element of this routine
Like
becomes
links in a
step
chain that
transition
connect wakefulness to
from
sleep.
wakefulness to
Creating
sleep.
a bridge between these two states. Allowing you to cross over with grace and ease rather than trying to make a sudden leap.
Your body learns to recognize these
Creating a
signals,
kind of classical
beginning
conditioning
the process of melatonin release.
where each element
and
of your
nervous
routine
system
becomes a
calming.
signal to your body and mind. Like a series of gentle instructions that guide your system towards the perfect state for sleep.
This consistent pattern becomes increasingly
Strengthening
powerful
with
each night,
repetition, becoming
creating an
more
automatic
reliable,
pathway to natural
more
sleep.
automatic, until eventually the mere beginning of your routine starts the cascade of physical and mental changes that culminate in natural sleep.
And now, as this session comes to a close,
Allowing
you can
yourself
allow
the
yourself
freedom to
to either
experience
drift
this
into
moment
natural
exactly
sleep
as it is,
or return
without
to wakeful
expectation,
awareness, feeling completely
without
relaxed.
demand. Simply resting in this state of deep comfort and allowing whatever naturally follows.
If sleep comes now,
Arriving
Be
like
natural
a welcomed guest when the
and
conditions
restorative,
are right, in its
lasting
own
until your
perfect
appropriate
timing,
waking time,
requiring nothing from you but your willingness to receive it when it comes.
if you remain awake,
This state of
continue
deep
to
rest
enjoy
itself providing
deep
many of the
relaxation and
benefits of
comfort,
sleep.
which itself is
Allowing your
restful
body to
and
repair
beneficial.
and renew itself. Your mind to process and integrate the day's experiences. A valuable state in its own right.
You are free from the struggle with
No
sleep,
longer fighting
having
against
created the perfect
wakefulness.
conditions for it to
No
occur
longer striving
naturally.
for sleep. Simply being in this moment of perfect comfort. Allowing your natural sleep mechanisms to operate without interference or concern.
Tonight and every night going forward,
Each experience
sleep
building on the
comes
one
easily
before.
and naturally
Creating a new
as you
pattern,
continue to strengthen
a new
these
relationship
patterns.
with sleep. one based on trust and acceptance rather than effort and frustration.
Rest now.
Deep rest. Comfortable rest.